For reasons I can't explain, and not even to myself, I've never been a big fan of the Ford Focus. But I am alone in this because 12 million sold since it launched in 1998. It's just a bit bland to me, and I've never had a desire to get behind the wheel, unless it was an ST, of course. There was something bland about the Focus. It didn't reach in and pull at my petrol heartstrings, if that makes sense. But when I saw this latest generation, it gave me a similar sensation to what I felt when I first saw the Ford Fusion, which in other words means I like it a lot. Again, we see the Aston Martin-inspired grille we saw on the Fusion, but the Focus now also has slimmer headlights, elongated fog lamps and chrome detailing. Swing round to the rear and you'll notice it has only been really ever so slightly tweaked with thinner tail lamps. This new Focus is wider and lower than its predecessor and comes across as far more refined and mature, if you will. The interior is where you'll notice the biggest change. If you remember, Ford debuted its sync system in the previous Focus, and this led to the cabin being rather cluttered. Buttons everywhere. Well, Ford listened to its customers, and now the cabin feels clean and again more mature. What I mean by mature is that I don't feel like I'm sitting in something that I would have driven in varsity. Not that I could have really afforded this car in varsity, or now for that matter. I am a motoring journalist after all. But my point is that I feel like I'm not a student in this car. If I had to tell my friends that the Golf Rival has a 1-litre engine under its bonnet, they'd probably tell me I don't know what I'm talking about, which to be fair is often the case, but not this time. Ford debuted its award-winning 1-litre Ecoboost engine in the Fiesta, and now you'll find this 92 kilowatt pocket rocket in the Focus as well. But how will it fare in a car from the C segment? It behaves like a much larger unit. In fact, if you didn't know the engine size, you wouldn't have a clue what you're driving. It feels just so much more powerful than the mere 1 litre that it is. It is a pleasant little thing, and with the ever-rising fuel cost, you wouldn't go wrong driving one of these. Also on offer will be Ford's 1.5-litre Ecoboost petrol engine that delivers 110 kilowatts of power and 130 newton meters of torque. Both engines are mated to a 6-speed manual transmission, which is smooth and slick. An automatic transmission will be available on the 1.5 Ecoboost later this year. A question asked by many, however, is what is the point of the 1.5 when you get everything you need from the 1 litre? Ford claims it to be a much better drive and more responsive, but a few journalists were left feeling that there wasn't much of a significant difference. We will see soon enough which is the biggest seller, but I have my predictions. Despite being on a pretty bad road, noise levels are minimal. The steering is adequately accurate, seats are comfortable, ride is smooth. Yeah, I quite like it. Ford is still impressing with its technologies that are accessible to the masses, things you may expect to only find in luxury vehicles. The Focus now offers perpendicular parking, which is a segment first for Ford. It also has a new hands-free parking technology that helps the driver reverse into spaces. There are 2 new sensors at the rear of the Focus that enable technology such as cross-traffic alert that warns you of other cars when reversing out of a parking space. Ford has also improved its active city stop collision avoidance system, which is exactly as the name describes. If we look at the entry-level Focus, which is the 1-litre Ecoboost Ambiente, you can expect standard features which include 16-inch wheels, remote central locking, electric windows in the front, air conditioning, a fully featured audio system with 6 speakers, a 4.2-inch screen, Ford Sync with Bluetooth and voice control, as well as a multi-function steering wheel. This is a fair amount more than its direct competitors. What has left us all very impressed is the price that the Focus is coming in at. Bearing in mind that Focus sales took a knock last year due to Ford not being able to keep their pricing competitive. This 1-litre Ecoboost Trend cost R229,900. The new Focus, therefore, is about R20,000 cheaper than the outgoing model, which is pretty unheard of. For the entry-level 4-door, you're looking at a cost of R212,900. And you work your way up to the 1.5 Ecoboost Trend 5-door that comes in at R271,900. it has to be one of the best price competitors in this segment. I arrived here not being much of a fan, but I'm leaving here realizing that you shouldn't judge too harshly. I've never hidden the fact that I'm quite a VW fan, but so many people are. But when you find something that rivals your favorite, you tend to be quite overcritical. Well, no longer can I be, because at these prices and these engines, there isn't much of a competition.